So you guys know the rules. I'm going to read you 3 things that came from the news of the business of the world this week, and you're going to say, are they going to flop or fly? Number 1, there's a new ride-hailing service that will only service women and children. It's called CHARIOT for Women. Flop or fly? Erin, I'll start with you.
I'm going to say flop because while I think this is a really great idea, the existing car services, like Uber and Lyft, have a lot of problems that they need to figure out around, a safety, especially for women in their cars. But I actually think that a new separate service is not the solution. I think that Uber and Lyft need to just fix their problem and really, really address it, because otherwise we're moving into something that reminds me of what I see in the Middle East, where there's everything is separate for women.
Right. Interesting. Matt, what about you?
I'm going to say flop, and for similar reasons. I think that for a smaller company to have the leverage to solve this as a technological problem, that seems pretty unlikely, whereas Uber and Lyft already have that tech in place.
Yeah. Phil?
I agree, flop. If this company's tech isn't good, I don't think women will care. But women will hold and should hold Uber and Lyft to a higher standard for safety.
I agree. And I will just go ahead and agree, because all of you say flop, I'll say flop. I read about another service that's just for shuttling kids around, and I actually think that's a great a great idea, but we're not talking about that one today. Okay, number 2, JCPenney has tapped Project Runway star Ashley Nell Tipton to launch a plus-size clothing label for the brand. Phil, flop or fly?
Fly. Stroke of genius, because it's an untapped market, the plus size. Everybody's always going after the skinny women with the model-like figures, and that's not what America is. And JCPenney's figured out that's their sweet spot. So you get somebody with a lot of fashion cred from Project Runway, and it fits in with their push for private brands. It's going to be a home run.
Great. Matt, what do you think?
Fly. The timing is good too. There's been a lot of movement and improvement with plus-size brands attracting better designers, with clothing lines that have strong design already expanding their plus-size offerings, and I think this is tapping those trends.
Okay, Erin.
I'll be a contrarian and say flop, and that's just because, and reading Fortune's story about this announcement, the designer actually said, well, I'm modeling all of my designs off of all of the regular clothes, and I don't understand why all that regular clothes can't be available in plus sizes. So I think this is a really great solution, but I think, long term we should be thinking about why separate it out? Why not just make all clothing in all sizes?
Fair enough. I'm going to go fly, but there you have it. Lastly, New Balance is going to start selling $400 3D printed sneakers. Flop or fly? Matt, we'll start with you in the middle.
I'm going to say fly, because I know just enough obsessive runners who are also kind of gearheads, present company excluded, but I know just enough obsessive runners who I think will be attracted by the novelty of this. I do think it'll fly higher and better once the price point's lower, and that'll come with time.
Okay, Erin, what do you think?
Fly for sure. I'm one of those obsessive runners, and I have 2 knee injuries, and so if I can customize my shoe in some way that will, help me continue to prevent knee injuries, I'm going to pay extra for it.
So surprised by that. Okay, Phil, what do you say?
I'm a regular runner and a New Balance user. I've been using them for 18 years, and yet I still think it'll flop because to me it sounds like a novelty thing. At the end of the day, $120 for a good pair of sneakers is enough money. $400, it'll have its little niche market, but it won't move the needle for New Balance.
I agree with you. I just feel like this is a little too late. I feel like everyone was talking about 3D printing 2 or 3 years ago. It feels like it's kind of jumped the shark by now, but hey, that's just me.